means being above normal, understanding your worth, and being confident in knowing who you are. But the first person who has to realize that there's a greater you on the inside of you is you. In life, we all go through stages of the good, the bad, and the ugly, which leads us to our purpose and promise. UTCM is a platform where you get to share your story and your truth of unmasking moments that allows you to embrace all stages in your life. UTCM looks forward to many people being able to unmask, uncover, and unveil themselves on the podcast. Thank you for watching and joining us.
Hey, we live. The day is here. Yes, we're live. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about this episode. Yeah. Now, and the whole time it was so quiet, and then I guess because people walking in the house now, Chloe want to start barking. So excuse the barking in the background because she hello. She's also saying hello. She's unmasking too as well.
Absolutely. Hey, Chloe.
Oh my goodness, I can't. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We've been journeying through this for some time now together, ever since I wrote my book. And you kind of have been on this journey. No, not kind of. You have been on this journey with me and working through your things too as well. And, you know, the things that you deal with on a daily basis, the things that you have dealt with. So, you know, you were finally like this year, like, this is it. I'm ready. I'm ready. And
it took a minute. It took a minute.
And that's okay. But that speaks to the true testament of what unmasking is, right? Like, you have to be willing and ready to be able to share your truth, because it's your truth. It's like nobody else can tell your story for you. Like, this is your truth. So you have to be able to be willing and ready to really be honest with yourself, to say that, you know what, I want to be free, right? And then my freedom is I am able to be a living testimony, and be a testimony to someone else's, you know, whatever they have been through too, as well, right? So I thank you. I thank you for your willingness. Hey, everybody. Welcome, whoever is on, who will join later on and watch. I appreciate the love and the continued support. This has been nothing but a journey. That's what I'm gonna say. It has definitely been a journey, and I am so happy and grateful to my community who has decided to continue to go along this journey with me. So, yeah. So this is season 6. Episode 3. Ooh, I am excited. I am, you know, working on some things. I think I say that every year, but I really believe that I am. Yeah, things are gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Things are gonna happen. So I'm excited. We got a lot of people watching. Ikea, I just want you to know that.
Copy that.
They watching. They want to talk about. I'm excited. All right. So you know what? I also been learning too, right? Because I always tell all my guests, right? Like, that's also a part of this unmasking journey. Like, you got to be honest. You know, all my guests always say, like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, can I tell you something? I'm actually terrified. They're like, yes. Like, every time I get behind the camera, I am nervous, right? And I think it's just a part of the journey, right? And that's okay. It's okay. That's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Being vulnerable, I think, is part of the healing.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. And it's okay. It's okay. A little nerves, a little bit being anxious, right? About doing something new. Yeah. It's okay, because every time that I get on here, there's something new. There's something new. Yeah. Right. So yeah. So welcome to all the people who this is their first time. I appreciate you logging on and joining us for a little bit. So let's do a little icebreaker. So it's called soundtrack check.
Okay.
And the question is, what song describes how you're feeling today.
You know, I gotta go with Prince. When doves cry. Because all day I've been telling myself, Kia, don't let EE make you cry. And Genesis said, Ma, don't be on there crying. Because you just cry at everything. So when doves cry, Prince Roger Nelson, yes.
I love it. I love it. And listen, you told me that when we was behind the stage. I said, I can't promise that. I'm not gonna cry. Sometimes them tears just start to going. And I feel like this is a little personal. I mean, I had my dad on, but I mean, everybody's been hearing me now say Aunt Kia, right? So this is my aunt, right? My father's sister, who I am very close to, who I've been very close to since I was born, right? Like it's been very, very special to me. So this is a very special episode. So yeah, I'm excited. So, and I'm gonna give my song. So my song is, I actually did a reel this morning. It's called Be Still. It's a house music song. And that's kind of been what I've been on about for maybe 2 weeks, being still and pausing and breathing, because there is, there's a lot of movement, right? And I don't want to move too much too quickly.
Right. I understand
So,
that.
yeah, so be still. Be still. So I'm gonna drop those songs in the comments so people could listen, take a listen, right? Because you may be able to relate to that song, right? Yeah. So y'all think about your sound check, right?
Yeah.
What song kind of relates to how you're feeling today.
Yeah.
All right. So let's dive right on in. Okay, so I always ask all my guests, how did you feel about the questionnaire?
Well, I had to be honest, first and foremost, with myself to want to be that vulnerable. And because I've made a decision, when I said, okay, EE, because EE asked me last year, and I don't know, I'm not ready. But when I text in December and said, I'm ready, today was my day to say, you're ready. So I'm ready for whatever. I'm old enough not to be bothered by, what other people think about me, my situations, or my circumstances. So I'm ready to get free. I'm ready to unmask. Sometimes I think you mask to yourself so long that you don't even know who you're looking at.
Yep. It starts to become actually a part of your personality. Yeah.
And that's not who I am.
Right. Yeah. So removing the mask is necessary. Yeah. All right. So let's dive right on in. I think I want to go with the question that I asked, right? Like, what was the first step of you uncovering? This wasn't the question that took me out, but when you mentioned that, you had sought professional help, and then understanding that that little girl must heal in order for the adult to be able to move out of survival mode. Can you kind of unpack like what that looked like for you?
I think that for so much of my life, I've been in neutral. And in neutral, if you've ever like needed to push a car, like if a car had a problem and someone had to push you off the road or whatever, you put it in neutral because it's easy to push. And I think from so many different traumas that I've experienced, that is what helped me be in neutral. And I don't want to live in neutral anymore.
That's good. Living in neutral. I never thought about that. But sometimes when you say that, right, and I pause for a moment because I literally just like I'm a visual person, right? So I literally am like just visualizing like, you having to be pushed. And sometimes being pushed is what's needed. But like to really get started and movement, like you gotta be willing
Right.
to do it yourself.
Right. But
Right.
sometimes in your brokenness, you're not willing.
That too. So you just stay stuck, right? And like, yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait for somebody to come and push me. I'll wait. Always looking back, like, is somebody gonna push
Somebody
me?
gonna push me?
Wow.
So you're staying right there on that sidewalk because there's nobody there to push you.
Mm.
And so many of us are in that position.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes just too afraid to admit it. Yeah.
That's unmasking. It's real.
It's real. It really is. So I kind of wanted to highlight, right, that question and kind of talk about that. I found something that kind of spoke to that inner child, right? So it's like I feel like it's an encouragement poem, but it said it was an encouraging quote. So I'm going to read it, okay? So it says, "My inner child, she hides in corners of my mind. That tender girl I left behind, still waiting for a hand to hold, still wearing guilt that wasn't told. I reach for her with quiet grace and wipe the tears from her soft face. I say the things she longed to hear. You did not earn that pain, my dear. We play again, we draw, we dance. I give her back her rightful chance."
Didn't I tell you I didn't want to cry?
Wow. When I read that, I was like, oh, it's that it's that the little girl or the little boy
Yeah.
that hides in the adult us.
Yeah.
That's the one that we have to, because at the end of the day, when we realize that it's our inner child that's really like is fighting, right? It's our jobs to parent that little child.
But the problem is, what if we don't know how to parent that little child? Then that child is stuck because as the parent, we're unable to help free that child.
When I tell you that is so good.
We ourselves. I think so much of my brokenness is, you know, with a lot of the questions that I answered for you, stems from being raised in that type of situation and in that type of home that you don't say anything.
Yeah.
So you grow up not saying anything. And now I'm an adult that don't say anything.
Mm.
And I'm in a marriage and I have a child. But that little girl who was not able to say anything is now a grown woman that does not say anything.
Very true. Very true. There has been moments, since I've been in therapy. This time definitely feels so different, though I think I'm just more willing and open.
Right.
But there has been so many times like I just could not figure out, like, when Steve and I would have, it wouldn't necessarily be a conflict. It would turn into a conflict because little Naisha would show up. And then when Naisha shows up, she shuts down.
Right.
She doesn't know how to.
Is that a Coleman thing? What?
Maybe. Maybe it was transferred. I don't know.
Down.
that's a whole nother episode right there. I'm telling you, when I say shut down, like,
down.
and you can literally see it. Like, you can just see the whole body language. You can see I can feel it. And I'm like, yeah, like, it's like, run. Because you're not safe. Matter of
Fight
fact,
or flee. That's fight or flee. Yeah.
So, but I want to go back to the part, because I don't want to skip over that part, because I believe I heard somebody say that before. Like, but what if I don't know how to be a son or how to be a daughter? Because I really wasn't like that. That wasn't really cultivated for me.
Right.
So you had mentioned. Let me just put my my MacBook on Do Not Disturb. Of course, it starts beeping and all this stuff. You had mentioned that what if, when I said about parenting, it's our job to parent our younger selves, right? Mm-hmm. But what if you don't know how to parent your younger self? Mm-hmm. Like what do we do with that?
Well, I have to shout out to my pastor, Dr. Christine Spivey, because one of the biggest lessons that I have learned under her leadership that she has said to me is, you did the best you knew how. Walking around with guilt will kill you. And unfortunately, I was broken at such a young age that now at almost 57, I'm ready for that little girl to heal. Like, she's a part of me, but I need for her to heal. And in order for her to heal, I have to face the multiple traumas instead of saying, yep, over that, you're not. Right. And that's something that I'm learning in therapy, that you can say it, but here and here, it's still there.
Yeah. 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 So that's actually a good segue, right? Because you had said the question was, what are some things that you have self-discovered about yourself through this unmasking process? Mm-hmm. Right. And you had, I think the biggest thing that really stuck out to me was you had said someone breaking me as a toddler, right? But then you wrote down broken, not shattered. Harder to put shattered back together, but broken can be fixed. It was not my fault. Mm-hmm. Right. So can you just speak to the moment of when you say someone breaking me as a toddler? Mm-hmm. Like what was that? What was the breaking?
Being molested. Being molested at 5 years old is something that you just don't get over. It's something that you can learn to live with, but do you really? Or do you carry that until you unmask? I'm ready. I think I told my mom on her deathbed when she was in the hospital. Told my dad maybe a year or two before his dementia kicked in. So I was an adult. Right. Before I was able to tell my mom and my dad. And they were heartbroken. And I was only able to talk about it because of the women's retreat that I used to go to every year. And 1 year, it was just about facing that. And the entire weekend, I was like, wow. And I came back and I was able to talk about it because we don't talk about it. I think if we took a survey and
Mm.
people who were ready to face that, the room would be full of people that raise their hand. Some people aren't ready
Right.
for that. But in order for you to heal, you have to be ready for that. Easier said than done. That's
Yeah.
why this platform was for me to allow the little girl to understand it was not your fault. And you can allow that part to heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot that Kia did to Kia. They
Mm.
a lot that Kia did from her I'll say my prodigal daughter season
Mm.
that I did to me. And I understand at this age that I had that season because of what was done to me. People don't really put that together, that being molested or incest or in any of that, it does something to your brain
Yeah.
that you shouldn't that should not have been triggered at that age.
Yeah. 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 And you are, when I say you are so right about taking that survey, because there's so many people that are, I was one of them, that are just afraid,
Mhm,
ashamed, um, fearful,
mhm,
right? Of, you know, what will people think?
mhm.
Right? It's almost as if um, you reliving.
Absolutely.
It's very triggering. It's very traumatizing. Um,
Absolutely.
and at the end of the day, like, to be honest, like, we don't, a lot of us, I know for me, like, I didn't want to have to really like sit in that and deal with that. Mm-mm.
Can I tell you, in reading your book, that broke my heart because you were my first baby. I'll tell everybody, she was my first baby doll, the real baby. So that broke my heart. But I do understand that that is just a part of EE.
Yeah.
And I just wrote down something about all things work.
Mhm.
How
Yeah,
all things that's a powerful line.
it
That
is.
all things work together. How in the world can somebody doing that to a baby
Yep.
work together for her good, for his good? Because it happens to boys too.
Because
It does, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a platform where people can feel free enough to say, "Yeah, this happened to me 50 years ago."
right.
Still walking around broken because they have not unmasked the hurt little person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And when you say that that's not something that, you know, it just goes away, right?
Mhm.
That is something that that's something that you live with.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of, you being able to manage it better.
Absolutely.
Right? So because at the end of the day, like, you still have human experiences. There may be a moment where you may get triggered, right?
Absolutely.
And
Triggers are real.
but now, like, how do I handle it? How do
Right.
I manage it? Right? I manage it by not holding it in. I manage it by seeking help. I manage it, right, by speaking about it, by speaking out about it, right? To not to everybody. It doesn't
Right.
have to be everybody, but it can be that therapist, right? That person that you feel comfortable with, right? That aunt, that
Absolutely.
uncle, right? Like your a circle,
Mhm.
because this is not, when I say this is something that you cannot do on your own.
No. It took me years to seek therapy. I mean, when Timothy passed away, I did the 4 or 5 weeks that the job gives you, but it was not helpful. And one of the things that he did say was, "And you're just now getting help."
Your current therapist now.
No, when Timothy first passed away,
Oh.
that was the first time that I ever sought
Mm.
mental help
Okay.
ever.
Mm.
So it'll be 10 years this year.
Wow.
So he I mean, he was real. And talking to me, he was like, this is the first time you getting help.
You need help a long time ago.
You needed help a long time ago, sister. And how can you be offended because it's the truth?
Yeah.
But that's not what I was there for. I was there.
Right.
There.
I was grieving.
Like, grief is different than my other isms and my schisms.
It's all tied together.
And that's what you have to come to a realization, that it's all Kia Mia.
Yep.
All of it. All being raised in a abusive situation, not by me, but just a child sitting in it.
Yeah.
Being molested as a child, all of that is
right.
One line.
Yep.
They may be parallel, but they're very thin parallel. And it's all all of that. Like, I just learned that I have multiple trauma. I mean, I just learned that. All of that shaped me into who I am today. Now, I'm strong in some aspects, but I am a broken little girl in other aspects, because my mom taught me, like, I'm a great housewife, and I'm old school, and that's just what my mom taught me. But she also taught me how to not say anything, how to be quiet, how you just take. That's a learned behavior until you just go, ah.
Right.
That's unhealthy.
It's so unhealthy.
That's unhealthy.
I said, you know what, because I'm trying not to say nothing, I'm trying to keep silent. That's still an unhealthy way to communicate.
Absolutely.
Because you can, like, at the end of the day, you're human, right? Like, there's going to be but so many moments that you can stay silent.
Right. And that's when it comes out. Ah.
Exactly. And it's like, hold up, where'd that come from? Wrong. And lately, what I've been hearing and what I've been saying to people, especially like younger people, that I'm in a relationship with, like Nasir, and then I have someone who I consider like my little sister at the church. I'm really close with her, and I told them, like, be empowered to use your voice.
Absolutely. My child, my 18-year-old.
Oh, Genesis uses her voice.
Genesis uses her voice, and that's why I want to yoke her sometimes, because she's my child. But I wish I had 10 ounces of that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna do but so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about her. We're not gonna tell her that. No.
She gonna see it. She watching. You hear that, cousin?
I love that. That's why I call her Ginger, because she's like a ginger snap cookie to me. She's spicy.
And she's always been like that too, even as a little girl.
Always been like that.
Yep.
Absolutely. But we need just we need to reel it in a little bit, just a little bit, because the world ain't ready for all of that. But I respect it.
Yeah.
Because I've never had it.
Yeah. Yeah. Too afraid to speak up.
Yeah. But that's a learned behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, right, like, Ankia, I really feel like this is my first time really hearing you say that. So now, like, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow, you know, I laughed about it earlier, but I'm like, maybe it really is generational.
Right. Right.
Because, like, when you, like, on the outside looking in, when I was a little girl, I'm like, oh, yeah, my Ankia got it all together. Not understanding what you were really dealing with, right? And which is probably why, too, you were having all those health ailments.
Right. Absolutely.
Holding on to all that stuff tight. Wow.
It's definitely generational, because Grandma Emily. Okay. She's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Of stuff going on, and you still.
Yep. Yep.
And she taught that to her daughter, the PK, who's had a baby at 14.
Yeah.
Who taught her daughter what goes on in this house
stays in this house.
Stays in this house. You put that makeup on. Now I am so grateful to God that I've never been in a physical abusive relationship at all.
Yep.
Not at all. But she went to work, put that makeup on.
Yep.
And your platform, Unmasking, I saw behind the mask because I lived in the house. So I saw the bruised blood.
Yeah.
As a child. That's my normal. That was my normal. Yeah. That's abnormal. A child should not have to grow up in that. And I learned from therapy just recently that it was not my job to save her. And that I was like, woo, when my therapist said that, because I was the child that did not want to go and live with my dad because I didn't want my mom's boyfriend to kill her. What you gonna do as a child?
Right.
And the therapist said it was not your job to save your mom. You still have a saving person spirit. Ouch.
Like, ouch.
Ouch. But it's true.
It definitely is true.
It's true. So what you gonna do, boo-boo? Like, come on.
Wow.
I'm taking the Band-Aids off tonight. When I log off of here, I am walking into my newness.
Oh, yes.
I have to. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in being quiet. I'm gonna die in that, because that's not who God has called me to be. And I understand that. Tough place. Do you want to be okay with your situation, or do you want to be okay with God? I like being comfortable. This walk ain't about being comfortable
at all.
No.
Wow. Mm. And it's crazy because I was telling you, I was telling you before we came on, we was behind the stage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We was having fun behind the stage. We were.
We was. I need to start recording behind the stage, doing little clips. Because this be a whole nother podcast moment behind the stage.
Absolutely.
We were talking about like your questionnaire, and I was just like so frustrated today because I really wanted to try to read it at work. I couldn't read it at work, and it was a reason why I couldn't read it at work, because as soon as I began to start reading it, I immediately became emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And especially when I read the part about, well, there was two parts, but the first part was when you talked about the domestic violence and witnessing that, right, with your mom, who is also my grandmother, which I called her Nana,
Yeah.
because I was the only girl for a very, very long time. So she was my Nana. And I remember experiencing that moment too as well. And when I thought about it, I was like, I don't necessarily know if I really ever really talked about it. Like, right, like if I have really ever like allowed myself to, I feel like I'm about to cry now. Speak about what I witnessed.
Yeah.
With my, with my Nana. And that was very traumatizing.
Absolutely.
It was very traumatizing. Because I was, and I can't remember, like it's just so blurry, like the age that I was, but I know it was in Roselle. And like the thing is, like as I was reading it, I literally was in the place.
Yeah.
Right. And I, like, for some reason, like I couldn't remember like how to, I knew that like calling 911, but I was so like
afraid.
nervous, like, I couldn't get the numbers together. And then I didn't have, like, there weren't cell phones or nothing like that out. So I didn't know like my dad's phone number. I didn't know my mom's phone number. So I couldn't call anybody. And by the time I got to the phone, I remember him dragging me and throwing me into their bedroom and shut the door. And all I could hear was my Nana screaming at the top of her lungs, asking for someone to come and help her. Somebody was downstairs, but nobody ever came.
No.
And I literally
was right across the street from the police station.
Right across the street from the police
right across the street from the police station. All of this happening.
In the corner, sobbing and crying like a baby. Like I just could not believe what I had just experienced.
Yeah. Can you imagine experiencing that up until the time I was put out the house at 18?
It's no way, because I only witnessed it one time, but then I remembered that there was other times.
Lots of times.
That he, when he dragged her when they lived in Woodbridge and through the woods, and and beat her almost half to death. And it just really reminded me of why I have to unmask.
Yes, absolutely.
And why this journey is so important, because I really believe if my Nana felt like she had a voice,
yes,
she would still be here today.
Absolutely.
But she had so much hurt. She had so much pain. She had so much suffering that it physically made her sick.
Yes, I believe that. I absolutely believe that. And I know, and one thing that I hold dear is that she was a mom at 14 years old, and I was her 18th birthday present, child number 4. But her faith, her faith, when I tell you her faith was rock solid in all of that, her faith was rock solid. I'm telling you from the horse's mouth that I have witnessed him beating her, and she her speaking the word of God. And that is why Psalm 91 is my psalm because it's my mom's psalm.
Wow.
And I have witnessed it with my eyes, how he was beating her and she started speaking scripture, and he backed up. I believe that with all of my heart. Would you speak to that spirit
Yeah.
and you speak the word to that spirit?
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it because I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it, and all of her and all of what she went through. That enemy could not take her faith. I'm telling you, when I worked at Beth Israel and I would go upstairs before I went home, I had spent New Year's Eve with mom and the ICU nurses. And that was January 1st. Mom passed away February 6th. Within that time, I would go upstairs, and I'm grateful that I was able to work in the hospital that she was in.
Right.
So I would be able to go upstairs and see her, and she was on a ventilator. She was on a tray. She was on a ventilator. This right here didn't go until it went.
Yep.
And she would write, and she was telling me about a janitor one day. She was saying the janitor and how they were praising God, and she wrote this. And this was like right before she passed away. How she could not believe that this janitor was in there, and because Pierre was Mr. Beth Israel.
Right.
Everybody knew Pierre.
Oh my
Like,
God. Every time I mention his name, everybody like, that was your grandfather? Yes, that was my grandfather.
Mr. Beth Israel. And I worked there for years. And then when people realized that I was his daughter, they were like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I have his entire face. Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's Pierre's child." But so they took care of mom. But I'm telling you, her faith in God, and I know that in the beatings, being raised up in that, it was going to church that kept us sane. And so I know that it sounds cliche-ish and everything, but that word that you hide in your heart,
yeah.
it can and it will. I can testify that
It
it
will.
will help you through some dark times, because those are some dark times that my mom lived through, and she never was bitter. She was never, she was never a bitter person, ever.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Never.
No.
Never.
Went to work with black eyes and cuts and bruises, and never. Even when she got cancer and Auntie Nadine would take her to work, never. And that is the person that blood flows through us.
Yes. My
So
dad.
that's what makes me who I am.
Yeah.
Knowing that I am Deborah.
Yes.
Like, don't get it twisted.
Right.
Deborah, absolutely. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that life is not hard. It doesn't mean that I don't cry. I still cry for my mama.
Yeah.
Like, still. But because of what she instilled in me, even when I was on my rogue
Right.
then,
Right.
I know that I was covered. I'm,
Mm.
I'm telling you, I have called mom on New Year's, because once upon a time I drank twice a year, my birthday and New Year's. Twice
Twice.
a year. Twice a year. I would have my blue hypnotic twice a year. And I can remember calling my mom, and I was feeling okay. And she just talked to me. just if that was my role model, she didn't have a judgment bone in her body. And I love that I had that type of woman
Yeah.
to instill in me who I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I am so proud. Because her legacy still lives on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The battered part did not define who she was
Didn't.
at all.
It didn't.
Mm-mm.
It didn't. Ah, yeah. I love my Nana. Oh my goodness. She was just so like I'm like, sometimes I tell like Nasir and Zaza, yeah, baby seed, I'm like, God, I wish you could have met my Nana.
Yeah.
Like you guys, like we would still be doing Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Even though she went through all of what she went through, she still showed up
Yeah.
with a smile. Like you would never have known that there was like all these things going
Yeah.
on. Like she cooked, like her happy place was in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
She
Absolutely.
loved to cook and feed
Yeah.
people.
With joy.
Oh my goodness.
With joy. You know,
Pure.
there's something that she told me, and it breaks my heart because I didn't always wear glasses. And I'm terrified of contacts because I just can't. The whole thing of I don't, right. But mom wore contacts towards the end,
Mm,
and she told me that with the other person that she was with for all of those years, she was afraid to wear contacts because of the beatings, and she would not want him to make her blind.
mm,
That's deep.
yeah.
But she never, I think that's what helps me walk through my life after so many traumas, victorious. She never was a victim.
Yeah. She wasn't.
No. Mm-mm.
Never.
Never. And
And
that's the blood that flowed through both of us.
she would give you her shirt off her back. Like,
Absolutely. They don't make them like that no more.
nah,
No.
the world's best Nana ever. Ah, I love her. I love her. I love her. Wow. I want to kind of just speak to um like forgiveness,
Mhm.
right? And you had mentioned that, when we talked about like what's your definitions of forgiveness, right? You did speak about, this question had kind of brought you to tears because you still blame yourself for the death of your son. But you also the statement that you made was it is my one of many regrets that I must forgive myself for.
Mm.
Like speak to what that looks like for you. It's okay. It's okay.
That's a tough one because I can't call him and say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can talk to him, but I can't. It's that I can't. I'm a fixer. I'm a fixer, and I can't fix that.
Mm,
I think that sums it up for me. that being a fixer who can't fix something. So I have to continue to seek God's face to help me with just that. I have so much that goes on in here, but because that's my child, and I have the guilt. Like I told you before, I'm not a reader. I've read your book and I read my pastor's book, and reading my pastor's book, it made me letters to my daughter. And it's not a sad book, but it's a bereavement book, but it's not a sad book. But it made me realize it. I had an aha moment because she had a daughter who was older than the baby that passed away. And so her daughter thought it was her fault. And Pastor shut down after I mean, I can't even imagine a baby. My son was 27 years old, and it hurt, but a baby, and she shut down. I know that I shut down, and I had Genesis, and how do I get that back? I can't get Timothy back.
Right.
How do I get back that time that I shut down on her? That's not fair.
Yeah.
But it's the truth that as a parent that loses a child, it's there's no hurt like it. There's no explaining it at all. We lose our parents, and even if we lose them and they're young, like my mom she was 48 years old. But she was a parent. Losing a child is a different hurt. But I have to make that up to my daughter. And how? But it has to be done. And nobody can do it but me.
Yeah.
But I know that it can be done because I have faith that through this unmasking today, I can do it.
Yep.
I will do it.
Yep.
I owe it to her to do it.
Yeah. You owe it to yourself.
Absolutely.
And then to Genesis.
Absolutely.
Which you've already, that's how you're doing it, by doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Because you guys have, even though, you have your bumps and your bruises, right? But at the end of the day, you guys have a beautiful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Beautiful. Right. I say Genesis looks so cute together. Like I really I love it. I love it. Like right before she was like, you was like, Genesis, close the door. She's like, Mom, don't be
mean. Like, take it on the road.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. You being willing to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be open, to be, transparent about where you were and the space that you were in allows her to be able to really begin to understand too as well.
Absolutely. I believe that.
Begin to heal, right? In the area where she felt that she was alone or whatever, right? I think it's a beautiful thing. I think that you are doing it in the now.
Amen.
Oh man. We didn't even get through half the stuff that I wanted to get through. So I want to ask this question. I thought this was a cute unmasking moment question. Right? This wasn't on the questionnaire.
Uh-oh.
So, if your life right now was a chapter in a book, what would it be called?
Mm. Mm. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I guess that goes back to my one of the answers to my question before. Broken, not shattered.
Mm. Wow. Drop mic. Drop mic. That's so good. That's a good segue to this next leading question. What would you say to little Kia
Mhm.
right now?
It's not your job to save her.
Mm.
Because when everybody left, I refused to leave because I didn't want him to kill her.
Mm.
That's way too much to carry for a child.
Mm.
But I know that was why. I mean, the truth of the matter is what my brothers and my sister were going through. I didn't know whether who had it worse, what they were living through or what
Mm.
I was going through. Because both of us had two different spectrums of situations going on in our young lives.
Wow.
So
Just
which
everybody
was the
has to
lesser evil?
figure it out.
Yeah. Which was the lesser evil?
Yeah. I know I had mentioned this before that we need to I want to sit down and kind of talk to you because I have there's like things that like I've seen, but I just don't really have a good understanding about my Coleman side of the family.
Mhm.
And I think I'm ready and I want to learn some more.
Me neither. That's
Mm,
that's the sad part, EE.
wow.
Me neither, because because of the divorce, or not even a divorce, the separation
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for that long. At my mom's job, they thought I was the only child.
Mm,
When at CIT, they thought I was the only child
wow.
because we lived in two different worlds. But uh, I think I asked your dad because because I have dad's photo book, and I had to ask your dad, well, who are these people? It was my aunt and uncle. Yeah. So we need a powwow because it makes no sense that
It
we
doesn't.
don't know.
We don't.
We don't have a clue, and you can ask Auntie. I need to buy vow because I don't have a clue either. And that's how, why, and we got kids. So what we teaching our kids? I don't know.
Yep. Yep.
So the buck stops here because we don't know.
Right.
That's a problem.
It
And
is.
Ancestry.com costs too much now.
Right. It do now. They done got hit. They're like, oh no, we charging them.
That's ridiculous. But I already got on my hit, so but
yeah,
we have to come together as a family. I know that it's easier said than done because of time, but like Nike said, we just gotta do it. I saw your baby and your husband when we had to go and fix Genesis iPad at the Apple store. I'm like, who this grown man? Like baby Steve, not no baby no more. He a grown man.
I know.
That don't make no sense though. The last time I saw him was at your aunt's cookout in Hillside, not Hillside, in Maplewood.
Aunt Tammy's cookout. And you haven't been to one of those in years. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, we got to do better.
We got to do better.
We have to. Mom, if mom wasn't about nothing else, mom was about everybody coming to her. I used to feel so bad for your father because he had to eat at 2 houses. It was what it was. He had to eat at both of those houses because you were coming to Debbie's house.
Definitely. Every Thanksgiving, without fail, you're coming.
Yeah.
Christmas, I was at my Nana's house.
And we got away from it. And why?
Yeah.
Because we busy doing what?
Right.
Like family is everything.
It is. It is. It's all we got.
We're gonna do better. We're gonna do better.
We are. We gotta do, and we're gonna do.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do better.
Absolutely.
All right. So my last thing, because we're actually
I was gonna say, did we go over?
A little bit, but it's okay.
Okay.
Do you remember your hashtag?
No, I don't. Sing your moment.
It's okay. It was hashtag I'm coming out of this.
Ah,
exactly what you said. Exactly what you said.
I like.
I knew this was gonna be a great episode. I knew it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your yes, Ikea.
I needed this, so thank you. Thank you for the push.
Yeah, the tush push. I've been calling that tush push.
It was needed. It was needed.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yes. Praise God. It was your kickstart out of neutral.
Hello. I got my bike in the back. I'm gonna ride it tomorrow.
Period. Come on, let's go. Let's go. We out here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh God, I'm so grateful, thankful for you, Ikea, again, for your yes and your willingness. I am going to. There was like a couple of things that we talked about, right? Like we talked about like domestic violence. We talked about molestation, right? I definitely want to make sure that I put like that 1-800. I think there's like a number. I don't know what number it is, but I want to make sure that I do put that in the comments, because if anybody is dealing with that or experiencing that, or maybe know somebody that is experiencing that and you want to send them the information, I want to make sure, right, that because I am not a therapist, right, so I can't help people through that because I'm not licensed, right, but I want to be able to at least be the bridge to get that they need. So I definitely want to make sure that I when I get off, I will, before I get up from this seat, I will make sure that I get that information and drop it in the comments. I'm going to try to do it on my YouTube page. I don't know if YouTube is going to let me do it. Sometimes it has to go through this whole thing, but I definitely will do it on Facebook. And then I also want to put your pastor's book in the comments too as well. I think you said it was Letters to My Daughter.
Yes. Dr. Christine Spivey.
Okay. I'm going to make sure I drop her book in the comment section too.
Thank you.
I'm going to get me a copy because I would like to I like to read too. I am not a reader, but I've heard, you can't lead if you don't read. So I am leaning into getting better at doing that. So,
Absolutely.
but yes, so we did it. We doing it. Thank you, Ikea. I love you so much.
I love you back.
You guys.
I did it. I did it.
See? I'm so senior.
I know. She's so old. She's so old. I love you.
Love you more. Everybody, y'all have a blessed rest of the evening. Thank you for spending time with us. Y'all go out. I want y'all to do something fun this weekend.
Amen.
Something that puts a smile on your face. That's what I've been saying. Do something that brings you joy. Do something fun.
Amen.
All right. We out. Love y'all.
Bye.
Later.